All right. See if I'm live. All right. All right, I'm live. Cool. Let me take the volume down from this. All right. All right. So let's see the headlines that I decided to share today. All right. So I got a accumulation of a lot of headlines, and I decided to do a live stream. I was like, okay, let's just. I can do pretty much a 4 minute videos of a whole bunch of videos of multiple four. Because I usually do four headlines, and then I do a video of it. It usually takes 10 or 13 minutes to do a live a video. So from 10 to 13 minutes I usually make a video, but right now I have so many headlines that I found interesting that I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and do a live stream. So for you guys joining me, welcome. And thanks for all those new subscribers that decided to subscribe. It's been a while since I've said hello. This is Space River News, and let's just hit these headlines. All right. World's fastest seagull stuns experts. A lesser black-beaked seagull is stunning experts with apparent speed, traveling more than 500 miles in just 7 days. The seagull, which was ringed on Borjao in the Channel Islands on July 17th, was later found at Ares Beach in Corona, Spain on July 24th. A seagull that traveled more than 500 miles from Britain to Spain in just 7 days has stunned experts. The lesser black-backed gull was recorded by the Adelanri Bird Observatory in the Channel Islands on July 17th, the observatory explained in a Facebook post. The same bird was spotted at Ares Beach in Coruna, Spain on July 24th. The individual has traveled 520.7 miles in 7 days. The bird observatory wrote in Facebook post. The bird has originally been ringed at Barhu Island in the Channel Islands, enabling researchers to record its movements. So, Alderney Bird Observatory Warren John Horton said that the distance traveled by the bird in such a short period of time was unusual. It could be the wind direction. It could have been known as a safe place with plenty of area to eat, so it just headed straight there, he told SWNS. They have stop-off points along their migration. Horton explained that the gulls that came to Barho Island are often Alderney breed during the summer. They have been known to migrate as far as Morocco. So this seagull traveled a long way, 520.7 miles in 7 days. That is amazing for a seagull. I had never heard of that before. If you guys don't know, I sometimes make Mandela effects, videos. So I kind of have a weird side to this channel. It has some paranormal stuff and some weird stuff. So when I hear weird information that I hadn't heard before, I sometimes think about it being possibility of it being a Mandela animal, if you guys follow the Mandela effect. But I don't know if it is a Mandela animal with it traveling 520.7 miles in 7 days, but it is something that is quite amazing. All right, let's go to the next story. Black moon is coming tomorrow, and what that means. We've seen all kinds of interesting phases of the moon, from super blood moons to full warm supermoons to even the stunning strawberry moon. Just so that you guys know, before I think 2016, I had never heard of all these, super moons and like full worm super moons and all these weird names that come with the, moons right now, with the phases of the moon. And I had never heard that many different names, so that's something new to me since 2016. All right, but tomorrow, July 31st, will mark a rare occurrence for Earth's natural satellite, a phenomenon known as a black moon. The rare celestial event will occur tomorrow in North America, marking the first occurrence since 2016. The rest of the planet will see the black moon on August 30th. Although there is not one single definition for a black moon, according to time and date, it is most commonly used to represent the second new moon of a month. So basically, it's the second new moon in a 30 to 31 day calendar, I believe. This rarely happens outside of leap years, as lunar cycles literally take 29 days to complete, but every 32 months or so, there are two full moons in a month, with the first being known as a blue moon and the second being a black moon. So that's what a black moon coming tomorrow means. All right, let's go to the next story. Ethiopia plants more than 350 million trees in a day. A planting spree, which officials say is a world record, is part of a campaign to fight deforestation and climate change. This is a pretty awesome story because this planet needs more trees to help cut CO emissions in the atmosphere. Ethiopians have planted more than 350 million trees in a single day as part of a campaign to fight deforestation and climate change. Getachew Makuria, Ethiopia's Minister of Innovation and Technology, said that 633,660 million seedlings were planted in 12 hours on Monday. So that's 353 million tree seedlings. That's a lot. The planting spree, which surpassed the initial goal of 200 million trees planted in one day, will be a world record, officials said. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's ambitious Green Legacy initiative, launched in May, aims to plant 4 billion trees across Ethiopia by October. Today, Ethiopia is set in our attempts to break the world record together for a green legacy, Abiy's office said in a Twitter post on Monday. So that's pretty awesome that they planted that many trees, 350 million trees in a day. This is going to be an awesome thing for the planet. Hopefully, more countries decide to do this and plant trees, because with the rate of deforestation happening on the planet and forest fires happening, it isn't helping, with the trees and the oxygen the planet needs. All right, let's go to the next story. 10,000 in Appalachia will see medical debt forgiven, highlighting national issue. That amount is just a drop in the bucket of the 88 billion of medical debt racked up in the United States over the past year. More than 10,000 people in Appalachia will sigh with relief this month after two donors from the region helped nonprofit rip medical debt purchase and forgive 10 million of medical debt. But it's just a drop in the bucket of the 88 billion of medical debt racked up in the United States over the past year. We're going to get their current address, and then there's a special letter that's going to go out to each of these people. The RIP medical debt founder Craig Antico, who celebrated the 5th anniversary of the nonprofit Thursday. It's from donors, and it's going to tell them that they're part of a larger campaign. They're going to get a letter in a yellow envelope that says this is no strings attached gift from people in the community. So Antico said that 100,000 donation, which buys 10 million debt for pennies on the dollar, came from two individuals. Jim Branscombe, former journalist who became the managing director of Standard & Poor's Financial Services, and author and journalist Bill Bishop. The two men approached RIP Medical Debt in May and said they wanted to focus on Central Appalachia with their personal donation. The 10,000 people affected are sprawled across 70 counties in West Virginia, and Kentucky. The nonprofit is unable to pinpoint individuals, but is able to purchase the groups of people's debt in bulk from the debt market, which they did in this case. So that is amazing that all these people are going to be, their debt is going to be forgiven, which is pretty cool for those people to decide to be kind enough to donate that money and help people in debt. Now, if there was a program or some kind of thing that helps student debt and people who have medical debts, so many people would be helped out in this country. Okay, let me click these off here. These stories as I go by them. All right, let's go to the next story. Arkansas mom buys all shoes and clothing Payless store to donate to kids in need. An Arkansas mother brought all the shoes from a closing Payless shoe store to give to children in need before the school year begins. Carrie Jerrigan, a mother of three, told Fox News she bought nearly 1,500 pairs of shoes. She did not disclose how much she paid, but told Fox News her recipients indicated she saved about $21,000, although she paid for just a fraction of that number. I'm in the schools a lot, and where I live, we have a high poverty rate. Jernigan, the president of Alma School Board, told Fox News. Alma is between Fayetteville and Fort Smith. My immediate thought was this could put so many shoes on kids that would not have new shoes to start back to school. The buyout took place in May after Jernigan's oldest daughter asked to buy a pair of Avengers shoes for her classmate during a shopping trip that initially intended to buy shoes for Jernigan's children. Jernigan said she was checking out. I jokingly said to the clerk, "How much would it cost to buy the rest of the shoes in here?" Next thing I know, a regional manager is on the phone asking me if I seriously want the whole store. She wrote on her Facebook page last Monday, "I was thinking, what have I done?" She added that her husband was going to kill her for making the big purchase. We ended up making a deal for the shoes. That left was approximately 400 pairs of shoes, she wrote. Jerrigan said that the next day she went back to the store to put all the shoes in boxes, and while she was there, store employees had learned that a new delivery had come in which hundreds of more shoes. She wrote that her children immediately said they could not leave those shoes behind. I said we will open a few boxes. If the kids' shoes, we will try it and get it. We begin to open the boxes in the back, and the store and the loading dock, box after box, are kids' shoes. So she pretty much got all of these shoes for the children in need, and that is pretty awesome. I felt like sharing this story because so many great stories are coming out of people helping those in need. I heard another story of this little kid who had a hot dog stand, and he, instead of being reported and being having the phone call to the police saying this kid doesn't have a license, they helped him get his license, and he was able to sell more hot dogs so he can help buy his own school supplies and clothes for school, which is pretty amazing for a kid, to be doing by themselves. So I love these kind of stories where people help to donate and help children in need. All right, let me take a look quickly here at the live stream, see if the chat, anybody in? Okay, nobody in. So I'm just making this live stream as a video, and I guess other people will see it and hear it later. All right. Let me close this window. All right, let's go to the next story. All right, Pakistan plane crash kills over a dozen near Rawalpindi. A military aircraft on a training flight crashes in residential area, killing 13 civilians and 5 crew members. A Pakistani military plane on a training flight has crashed into homes near the garrison city of Rawalpindi, killing at least 18 people. The incident, which took place before dawn on Tuesday, created a fireball that lit up the night sky above the Mora Kalu village on the outskirts of Rawalpindi. Troops and police cordoned off the residential area and searched for plane debris and investigative evidence after the rescue efforts had ended. We have taken 18 bodies to the hospital. That included 13 civilians and 5 crew members, said Fargat Butt, a spokesman for the rescue service. Children were among the dead, and a further 12 people have been injured in the accident near the hospital, Islamabad, Butt said. He added, all the bodies are badly burned, so DNA tests are required for identification. That is so sad to hear. Please pray for the people in Pakistan in the town of Rawalpindi, for those people who have suffered in that crash. All right, next. Debate over the universe expansion rate may unravel physics. Is it a crisis? The word crisis hung in the air for the evening of the very beginning of the meeting. A room just steps from the ocean in Santa Barbara. Astronomers and physicists shifted restlessly in their chairs. Sunshine and sea breezes beckoned, but the scientists had cloistered themselves to debate one of the biggest quandaries in physics: how fast the universe is expanding. Estimates based on exploding stars or supernovas have suggested that the universe is growing approximately 10% faster than indicated by light emitted just after the Big Bang, about 13.8 billion years ago. Now, a measurement based on observations of luminous objects called quasars had pushed the problem beyond a statistical benchmark known as 5 sigma, denoting that the issue was something to take seriously. At the front of the room on July 15, two Nobel-winning physicists, Titans, debated that approximately the level of alarm. Cosmologist Adam Rees and the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore queried theoretical particle physicist David Gross: how would particle physicists refer to a discrepancy this large? If we found something like this, we wouldn't call it a tension or a problem, but rather a crisis, said Gross. The Cavalli Institute for Theoretical Physics at the United States University of California, Santa Barbara. Scientists at the meeting immediately adopted the word crisis to describe the difference in expansion estimates, but not everyone agrees the problem is real. In Physicists, the version of a mic drop, a study appeared online that evening challenging the narrative. A new version of the supernova technique found a value of a Hubble constant, the parameter that quantifies the universe expansion, that was consistent with the measurements from the early universe. So a crisis or not yet? Much is at stake, including scientists' basic understanding of what the universe contains and how it evolves over time. So far, a theory known as the Standard Cosmological Model has succeeded in explaining a wide variety of cosmic observations, but the discrepancy in measurements of the universe's expansion could mean the model itself needs to be drastically altered. So they don't know if the universe is expanding at double its rate. So that's something interesting. I always like interesting space stories. That's what I named the channel after. Space River News is like a river of space information. I had made a lot of space videos earlier in the channel when I first started the channel, but that's something interesting. The expansion of the universe, is it doubling its rate? Is it growing faster than what scientists can think of? That's something that's quite interesting. All right, next. Rare mosquito-borne disease detected in Florida. A deadly mosquito-borne virus has been detected in Florida. Health officials are warning about the uptick and urging people to protect themselves. Eastern equine encephalitis, or EEE, is a very rare and very deadly illness. Testing shows the virus is present in the Bay Area, and all it takes is a bite from an infected mosquito to become sick. Fortunately, most humans won't be affected. They won't get the disease, explained Fox 13 Dr. Joette Giovinco, but the small percentage that do, they can have a very serious infection. It can cause brain swelling. This year, the virus has been detected in 25 horses, one emu, one eagle, and 77 chickens in 27 counties across the Sunshine State, including animals in Polk County, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties. In Central Florida, the Department of Health, Orange County, has issued a warning after EE was detected in several sentinel chickens. EE is something to be concerned about, said Kent Donahue with DOA Orange. The sentinel chickens are placed out throughout the countries to warn us basically of these different viruses. Excuse me, guys. Oh, the talking is kind of drying up my throat. All right. Sentinel chickens don't get sick from the disease, however. They can carry it and are tested regularly to give experts a head up on the virus present. Sentinel chickens are kept in several Bay Area counties, but none have been reported to have the disease. According to the Centers for Disease Control, only about 7 cases of EEE in humans are reported across the country each year. However, from 2009 to 2018, Florida has had the highest number of infections. For anyone who becomes infected, EE can be devastating or deadly. It kills about a third of the individuals, and those that survive often have lifelong neurological problems. Giovinco explained they should be on alert, and really this kind of a wake-up call so people can take precautions. You especially want to protect your children and yourself from mosquitoes. Officials say the best way to protect yourself from mosquitoes and mosquito-borne illnesses is to wear long sleeves and pants and use insect repellent and get rid of any standing water at your house. So, guys, that sounds like a serious disease where you can get brain swelling. Who knows if you can die or not, but the article did not say. But that sounds serious. So stay protected from mosquitoes if you can. If you live in Florida, that sounds dangerous. All right. I'm going to take a second here to see if I can grab my drink real quick. All right, I got it. All right, swarms of grasshoppers invade Las Vegas. This happened 3 days ago, but I have to put it in the stream. Okay. Swarms of grasshoppers invade Las Vegas. Everybody was going crazy. A migration of mild-mannered grasshoppers sweeping through the Las Vegas area is being attributed to wet weather several months ago. The insects are harmless, but tourists were stunned by what some are calling the Great Grasshopper Invasion of 2019. It was crazy. We didn't even want to walk through there. Everybody was going crazy, Diana Rodriguez told CBS affiliate KLAS. We were wondering, like, what's going on? One video showed thousands of grasshoppers descending on the Las Vegas Strip, the station reported. Nevada state entomologist Jeff Knight told reporters that the number of adult pallid-winged grasshoppers traveling north to central Nevada is unusual but not unprecedented, and they pose no danger. Knight said the insects don't carry disease, don't bite, and probably won't damage anybody's yard before they're gone in several weeks. He says they're usually attracted to ultraviolet light sources. Knight recalls several migrations in his more than 30 years at the State Department of Agriculture, including one about 6 or 7 years ago. This year, the Las Vegas area recorded more rain in 6 months than the annual average of just under 4.2 inches per year. So that rain may have caused that extra fuel to create more grasshoppers. Here's a little video of it. All these grasshoppers just kind of swarming all over the lights in the entrances of the casinos and the stores. And you see people trying to sweep away all these grasshoppers. So if you're headed to the Las Vegas area, know that I think they said the next 3 weeks, this could possibly be an issue if you're going to Las Vegas. All right, next. TSA screeners find missile launcher and check luggage at airport. The man said he was returning home from military duty and wanted to keep the weapon as a souvenir from his time station in Kuwait. So imagine going to the airport and having seen a weapon as big as a launcher, a missile launcher, just sitting in your luggage. That's pretty crazy. Okay, let's read the article. Says security screeners found something troubling at Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport on Monday morning, a military missile launcher. The Transportation Security Administration said its officers found it in a traveler's checked baggage during routine screening. They noted the airport police who were able to track down the bag's owner and detain him for questioning. TSA said the man from Jacksonville, Texas, told the police that he was traveling home from U.S. military duty in Kuwait, where he picked up the missile launcher and wanted to keep it as a souvenir. Fortunately, the item was not a live device, the TSA said in a statement. It was confiscated and turned over to the Maryland Fire Marshal for disposal. The man was released and allowed to resume his journey home. Military weapons are not allowed in either checked or carry-on baggage. Civilian firearms such as hunting rifles are prohibited in carry-on bags, but allowed in checked bags if they are unloaded and locked in hard-sided containers. All right, guys, so that's pretty crazy to have a missile launcher in somebody's checked bag. All right, let's go to the next story. Here we go again. Communities near Area 51 brace for influx of UFO tourists. As Facebook event encouraging people to storm Area 51 has ramped up alien hunting buzz to an unprecedented level in the Lincoln County, Nevada area. Alamo, Nevada. The first time Vern Holiday heard people talk about trying to storm Area 51, he was sitting around a campfire with about a dozen UFO enthusiasts outside the motel he owns in Alamo. It was the fall of 2009, and the 15-room Alamo Inn was hosting an annual UFO conference, as it usually did. The conversation turned from alien life forms to conspiracy theories about Area 51, the secretive military facility about 35 miles west of Alamo. That night, a man from Idaho who worked on motorcycles for a living suggested to the others around the campfire that they could rush the facility on motorcycles, believing the military guards wouldn't be able to stop them that way. Holiday recalled. Nothing ever came of that scheme beyond campfire chatter, but Holiday 59 thought of it recently when the Facebook event titled Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us set off an internet frenzy. Even though the event creator, Matty Roberts, claimed it was a hoax and the Air Force warned against anyone breaking into the property located within the Nevada Test Training Range at the Nellis Air Force Base, almost 2 million people have RSVP'd on Facebook on September 20th gathering. And the thought was, here we go again, Holiday said, chuckling. As of this week, his motel, about 90 miles north of Las Vegas, had only 2 vacant rooms left for the day of the event. Tourism drawn by talk of extraterrestrial activities has been a part of the economy for decades in the small towns that dot the valleys near Area 51. The boom began around 1988-89 when Bob Lazar, a self-described engineer, claimed to a Las Vegas television station that he worked on extraterrestrial aircraft when he housed an Area 51. Since then, business owners and residents have welcomed tourists hoping to get a peek at the military facility or spot a UFO in the sky. But the Facebook event has ramped up buzz to levels residents have never witnessed, with motel and campground owners receiving scores of calls a day. If the event brings the masses it's promised, many in the area are excited for the potential extra business. Some though, are concerned about the lack of infrastructure to accommodate the crowds that could attend. This is the most overwhelmed I've felt in my entire life, said Connie West, who owns a motel, bar, and restaurant called Little Alien Inn with her mother in Rachel, a tiny town about 50 miles from Alamo. Since the end of June, her business has been inundated with calls about everything from room bookings to bands that want to play on her property during the event. Like Holiday says, she heard the conspiracy theorists talk of invading Area 51 for years, but nothing of this magnitude. It's a frenzy, she said. The Little Alien Inn is the only business in Rachel, a close-knit desert community of about 70 people that spans about 3 miles on the extraterrestrial highway, formerly known as State Route 375. The highway was renamed the Nevada Tourism Board in 1996. Last weekend, West 51 and a handful of locals sat in rocking chairs at a picnic table under the shade of a silver maple tree discussing the preparations for September 20th. West has been calling food and alcohol vendors, motel hosts, the only bar for about 100 miles in any direction, to make sure she's stocked up. She's been ordering more t-shirts, mugs, and other novelty items for the gift shop inside the restaurant. The motel also rents out campsites, and West in the process of clearing more land to make room for patrons attending the event. There is not a way or walk of life that hasn't come through those doors in the last 31 years, West said. The conspiracy theorists, UFO believers, and astronomy buffs she hosted are all welcome. Still, West said she was concerned about people getting hurt or arrested trying to make their way into Area 51. Some have speculated that local law enforcement will shut down roads leading to the military facility to prevent anyone from getting close. Lincoln County Sheriff Kerry Lee said he could not discuss the details, but that the agency was prepared. Nellis Air Force Base, in a statement, that any attempt to illegally access the area is highly discouraged. Who knows what's going to happen, West said. It could happen to be a great for business, or it could be a financial disaster. So, guys, this is something that I sincerely found interesting. The Storm Area 51 thing. I joined the group on Facebook just to see the posts and laugh at the memes, pretty much. But I'm not gonna go to Nevada. But I find it quite interesting because I follow the UFO, stories and the UFO videos and things like this. So this is something that I keep in the back of my mind about what's hopefully going to happen with the Area 51 event. All right, excuse me. Nebraska man finds 2.12 carat diamond at Arkansas State Park. A school teacher from Hebron, Nebraska, came across a valuable gem during a family vacation. John Lanig found a diamond weighing just over 2 carats when he visited Arkansas's Creator of Diamonds, State Park officials said in a press release. The 36-year-old searched for about 2 hours before he found the brandy-colored gem near the southwest edge of Park 37.5-acre diamond search area. He spotted the diamond around 15 feet from a trench that runs along the park. He took the kids to look for amethyst on Cannery Hill, and I was walking through an area where it looked like a lot of water has washed away when I saw it, Lennox said. At first, he wasn't certain he found something of value until he took it back to the park's Diamond Discovery Center to be examined. The examiner wouldn't tell us whether it was a diamond, but we were pretty sure from her reaction that it was, Lennox said after identifying and weighing the gem. Park staff informed Lennox that he had discovered the largest diamond found so far in 2019. According to the park interpreter, Wayman Cox, Mr. Lennox's gem is about the size of a jelly bean and has a dark brown color similar to brandy. It has a beautiful natural pear shape and smooth, curved facets that give the gem a metallic shine. Cox also attributed the discovery of diamonds to the recent record-breaking rainfall in the area. About 14 inches of rainfall in the park on July 16th. The days after the rainfall, park registered numerous diamonds found right on the surface of the search area, including 2 weighing over 1 carat. Lanik isn't sure whether he plans to sell the gem or keep it as souvenir, but he said he'll keep it for now. And here is the picture of the diamond. Let's see if I can zoom in here. That is the diamond. That is pretty interesting to find something so cool at a park if you're looking for rocks. So if you're looking for gems, go out there to Arkansas and get yourself a diamond. All right, next story. City killer asteroid misses Earth and scientists had no idea. Scientists revealed an asteroid dubbed by some as a city killer came closer to the Earth than the Moon this week. The Washington Post reported that scientists apparently had no idea it was coming. Asteroid 2019 OK came hurtling toward Earth at a speed of nearly 50 miles a second before flying past, according to NASA. It was about 45,000 miles from the Earth on Thursday. It would have hit with over 30 times the energy of an atomic blast at Hiroshima, astronomer Professor Alan Duffy told the Sydney Morning Herald. Duffy called the zoning space rock a city killer. Astronomers said it posed no immediate threat, but they admit they had no idea the giant rock was headed our way because it came from the direction of the sun. Alright, guys, that's pretty scary to have a city killer asteroid that missed Earth and scientists had no idea about it. This gives you more thought about the possibility of other asteroids, doing that. Alright, weird new kinds of cocaine could start a hidden epidemic of health threats. The big problem is we aren't testing for these cutting agents and chronic health problems they cause. by the nature only appear years later. I'm not going to read this entire article because this one's kind of like really intense and long, but pretty much it talks about that the dangers of the adulterant added to these to the crack cocaine and other things could cause flesh-eating bacteria. So flesh-eating bacteria and these other added chemicals to the cocaine and other drugs has been found. So flesh-eating bacteria could be in packages that people decide to use for drugs. If you use cocaine, heroin, or other drugs, you could get flesh-eating bacteria and other diseases because since it's in the atmosphere and in the environment, it gets cut into the drugs, and that could cause, you know, a lot of illness. So just a heads up for the people out there, don't do drugs, kids. All right. Next, Republic lawmaker presses Navy on UFO sightings. A top Republican on the House Homeland Security Committee is seeking more details from the Navy on recent reports of so-called unidentified aerial phenomenon, including what sources is applying to investigate the mysterious sightings and whether it has found physical evidence or otherwise to substantiate them. Based on pilots' account, encounters with the UAPs often involve complex flight patterns and advanced maneuvering, which demands extreme advances in quantum mechanics, nuclear science, electromagnetics, and thermodynamics. Republican Mark Walter of North Carolina, the ranking member of the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Subcommittee, wrote to Navy Secretary Richard Spencer in a new release letter dated mid-July. Excuse me. Taking a quick drink. All right. If the accounts are true, Walker added, the identified crafts could pose a serious risk to our military personnel and defense apparatus. Politico first reported in April that the Navy was issuing new guidelines for personnel to report the sightings. While I am encouraged by the Navy's proactive decision to draft new guidelines for reporting, I am concerned these reports are not being fully investigated and understood, Walker told Spencer. Walker is also asking if the Navy is aware of any foreign nations or private companies who have made significant advances in aerophysics. So, new reports of the UFO are being pressed in the Navy. So I've heard of new reports. I've heard of more congressmen and people being alerted that there are UFOs and possibility of them getting into our airspace, and that could be dangerous. We don't know exactly what these UFOs are, if they're UFOs, if they're advanced military craft, if they are actually, extraterrestrial, if they're spirit, we don't know what they are. It's just something that I find quite interesting. All right, next story. Note to those hoping to raid Area 51, there's not enough space. Yes, people are seriously planning to travel to Area 51 on September 20th, and Rachel, Nevada has no vacancy to prove it. The small town was shocked when it realized people were coming and satirically suggested on a Facebook page titled, Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. The Air Force Base in the desert has spurred conspiracy theories as a UFO and alien holding site for decades. I cannot believe it's gotten this much attention. We deal with this on a weekly basis, but nothing to this scale. So the reason I decided to read this one as well is because there's not enough space in the area. Most people think that 2 million people is not a lot, but in a small town with a small country road, there's not. And the thing is also that the town is far away from the base. There's also no gas station in that town. So people who are coming to the Area 51 raid thing, if they're just gonna go to the store, the little alien inn where they get collectibles and things like that, then that's cool. But if they decide to go to the military raid, that's something totally different, which they're breaking the law. if they, cross the military base. But there's no gas in that town. So how are 2 million people gonna get gas for the possibility of this raid? Also, or the visit if they're just going to go to the shop and hang out and barbecue or party or whatever. Um, Also, there's not enough food in the area. So this is the reason why I decided to also read this article. Is because there's not enough space. There's no gas in that town. There might be this. I totally believe there's not enough food for 2 million people in that area. So if people are gonna go there, they're gonna have to bring their own food, bring their own gas, and bring their own lodging because there's no space in the hotels left. There are some stores. I think one store that's there is renting out places for people to camp and do things like this. I'm not sure how much space they actually have out for everybody, but I'm not sure if 2 million people can actually camp out in these area. So that's the reason why I decided to read that article. There's a heads up for people who are actually going to be heading to the Area 51 base. All right. This next story I found totally creepy. FBI finds horrific Frankenstein like experiments at body donation facility in Arizona. So, pretty much, people donate their bodies to science, and this shop basically collected the bodies, and here's what they found. The FBI shines light on human chop shop. FBI agents stumbled upon a house of horrors after raiding a body donation company in Arizona, discovering a warehouse containing a refrigerator filled with penises, buckets of limbs, pools of blood, and a human head sewn onto another body in a Frankenstein manner. The Biological Resource Center, BRC, in Phoenix, a for profit business that assists people with donating their bodies to science, was raided by the FBI in January 2014 as part of a nationwide criminal investigation. New court documents of a civil lawsuit against the BRC have now revealed more grueling details of the investigation, the Arizona Republic and ABC's Arizona report. The former owner of the BCR, Stephen Gore, pleaded guilty to one count of illegal control of an enterprise in 2015 and received a sentence of 4 years probation. However, he now faces a civil lawsuit set to trial on October 21st, 2019. At least 33 plaintiffs are suing the body broking business, alleging the remains of their family members were obtained through false statements and their bodies were not stored, treated, or disposed of appropriately. Former FBI agent Mark Saynar stated that he saw various unsettling scenes at the BRC in Phoenix, including numerous dead bodies that appeared to have been played with as a morbid joke. One of the most shocking scenes he witnessed was a small woman's head sewn onto a large male body, like Frankenstein, that was then hung up on the wall. According to the Reuters investigation from 2017, the Arizona BRC received donations from over 5,000 people and distributed more than 20,000 body parts to a number of unknown research facilities and medical training programs. After raiding the warehouse in 2014, agents discovered 10 tons of frozen human remains, including 281 heads, 241 shoulders, 337 legs, and 97 spines. I couldn't sleep at night after seeing that. Matthew Parker, a former agent who raided the warehouse and retired after suffering from post traumatic stress disorder after the case. It looked like a junkyard chop shop where they're just ripping things apart. Emily Glynn, who interned in the lab in 2013, also spoke to Reuters about her experience at the BRC. Over the course of the internship, she said she dismembered numerous bodies without any formal training or instruction. She even claims to have decapitated an elderly woman with what looked and sounded like a chainsaw from Home Depot. The body broking industry remains remarkably unregulated in the U.S., especially in Arizona, until a new law passed in 2017. Body donation companies in Arizona didn't even require a state license to practice their business. So this is pretty much a horror story that this many body parts were acquired, some of them under false statements or false pretenses. They experimented on the body parts. They merged them with other people. They chopped them up. They'd hang them up on walls. So this pretty much is a nightmare. They also sold them to different unknown facilities, and who knows what they're doing with those body parts. So I decided to share this story because I had never in my life heard of this. This story came out in 2014, I believe, but they're now going to trial in 2019 in October. So I just wanted to share the story because my goodness, this is just like a nightmare. I had never in my life heard anything this crazy. But with the amount of crazy stories in the world happening in the world right now, it just doesn't shock me as much because I've heard so many weird stories, but this one takes the cake. This is a pretty intense story. All right, next and last story. Whale swallows sea lion. It was a once in a lifetime event. Chase Decker believes the photo he took of a humpback whale swallowing a sea lion is the first time that happening has ever caught on camera. I'm going to see if I can zoom in and show you the sea lion being taken in his mouth by a whale. That is pretty intense picture right there. I think if they did a contest or anything, this picture could win awards. All right, the 27-year-old wildlife photographer and marine biologist has taken a boat of whale watchers out in the water on Monterey Bay, California, on the 22nd of July when the incident happened. It wasn't a huge group, only 3 humpback whales and about 200 sea lions. Chase tells Radio 1 Newsbeat. We've seen it all the way up to 100 whales with 3,000 sea lions, so it can get really insane. The animals were feeding on a school of anchovies at the water's surface when the whale ended up with something larger in its mouth than it probably expected. We were watching them feed for a long time, and then eventually the event, as I call it, a once in a lifetime event happened, and I still can't believe it, he says. I had about a split second where the whale was coming up and newly comprehend that the sea lion was on top of the whale before shooting the rest of the sequence. Ch- Chase is more than 100% confident the sea lion swam away and is just fine after it ended up in the whale's mouth. Humpback whales don't have teeth, only baleen plates with bristles inside their mouths. They filter feeders, and the bristles filter the food from the water, and things like sea lions don't belong in there. A whale will usually take less than 5 seconds lunge feeding, Chase says, but in this instance it sunk slowly over 15 seconds with its mouth open, giving the sea lion ample time to swim away. Thank goodness the sea lion swam away. But that's pretty crazy to have a sea lion inside the mouth of a whale. It reminds me of the story of the man that was swallowed by a whale, Jonah. So I found that pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at you guys. Well, this is the live stream, and that's the end of the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream, and see you guys next time. Let's see if I can turn this off. All right, see you guys next time. God bless.